When the Samsung Galaxy S25 series was released, it retained the same pricing in the US as the Galaxy S24 series, despite the rising costs in the CPU parts. However, it looks as if Samsung might not be able to hold off the price increase on the S26 series as we see a rise in parts across the board. ET News reports that the Galaxy S26 family will likely receive a price hike due to the rise in multiple component costs, not just the CPU. The outlet says that prices for key parts are all increasing at the same time across the board. As Samsung report earlier this year revealed that mobile chipset costs have risen by 12% compared to the annual average a year ago, and the price of camera sensors have increased by 8%. The outlet further stated that the cost of DDR5 RAM has increased by over 16%. These increases don't guarantee a steep price hike for the S26 series. After all, Samsung isn't known for using the most cutting edge components in its flagship smartphones. It is possible for Samsung to offset price increase by using older components while also using its buying in bulk power to secure lower part prices. Samsung did use 2-year-old M13 OLED panels in the S25 Ultra to save a rise in cost on parts and ultimately the consumer saving them a price increase. Now, that kept the same price as the previous year with that M13 OLED panel, among some other parts inside the device. That M13 OLED panel in the S25 Ultra was the same OLED panel used in the S24 series. Samsung could opt for the very same M13 OLED panel in the S26 series, but I think a 3-year-old panel in your flagship device is pushing it. Apple is using the newer M14 OLED panel in the iPhone 17 series. I would expect Samsung to put a newer M14 OLED panel to keep up with Apple. Not to mention, Samsung is said to bring back the Bluetooth S Pen in the S26 Ultra. That adds a cost on top for extra Bluetooth certification costs. I just don't see how Samsung could shock us and keep the prices the same as last year's model. Again, they do have a price point and profit margin they are expected to hit on each and every unit sold. Speaking of units sold, a new leaked document published its annual outlook for the company's mobile division ahead of next year's product lineup, and it's about to get pretty aggressive, and it's about as confident as I've seen. Samsung expects the S26 series, with the potential Edge release in the FE models later in the year, to sell a whopping 36 million units worldwide, with the entire smartphone lineup set to potentially hit 240 million units sold globally. All of their Galaxy devices, including the tablet, could see Samsung rake in over 90 billion US dollars in sales alone. Now, breaking down these expectations reveals even bigger aspirations, right? With the S26 series set to balloon its predecessor's success spec-wise and it looks like price-wise as well. Throughout the first half of the year, Samsung managed to sell 22 million S25 units, a figure it hopes to clear by at least 2 million additional units this year. Well, I guess in 2026. Foldables are also a massive part of Samsung's plan for 2026, with the Fold 7 and Flip 7 projected to move a combined 5 million units worldwide. And while smartphones dwarf its tablet lineup, the company is estimating to sell at least 27 million Galaxy tablets worldwide. This extremely positive outlook comes on the heels of a surprisingly strong year for Samsung, with the S25 and the Z Fold 7 both managing to outperform expected sales projections. These could have many reasons for the uptick in sales: an ongoing upgrade cycle as older devices begin to reach end of life, or possibly due to the brand's focused on AI. Considering the success of AI heavy devices like the Pixel 10, we just saw those sales records surpass their expectations. Either way, it is clear Samsung thinks it has a hit on its hands for next year. The S26 series is rumored to debut in San Francisco late in February with on-shelf availability as early as March. If Samsung does raise the price on these units, they need to be very careful it's not a drastic price increase. Personally, I think these devices are widely overpriced. I see other items for sale when out and about, like laptops for $1,500, TVs for $1,200, a set of 4 new tires for like $800. I'm just like, damn, that's expensive. And then I think, shoot, my S25 Ultra was more expensive than all of those. And I don't even think twice about upgrading and buying a new S25 Ultra. It just reminds me of how expensive everything has gotten when I just go about my daily life, comparing everything to the cost of phones. And I get suckered into buying a new one every single year. So I think Samsung could possibly get away with increasing the cost by about $50 over the last year's model. It has been a couple of years since they have increased the price. Anything over $100 over last year's model is just too much. But my dumbass is still going to be buying it, right? Let's face it. I'll tell you this, Samsung better increase the trade-in values for older devices if they do raise the cost of the new S26 series. That'll make me feel a little bit better about buying a new, more expensive Galaxy device. Subscribe to the eSIMstudios YouTube channel for all the latest technology, news, and reviews. Peace.